Happy Wednesday, everybody. We are back together here with another video. This is our second to last video before Christmas. And last week, I went saw Avatar 2. Thursday show, and I actually saw it in IMAX 3D. I love the first movie. Just give everybody your opinion on the first Avatar movie.
I love it.
Yeah, I know you haven't seen the second one yet.
No.
Now, I did a review on the Matrixx and Roadshow. I felt like the first movie was superior to this one. Even though I think a lot of people are actually going to like the family aspect of this one. Because the first one really wasn't about family. It was more about the whole entire Na'vi tribe. This one is actually more focused on family. But
the first one does have a Native American theme.
Yeah, I mean, it's not an original story. I mean,
No,
Dances
it's
with
not.
Wolves, it has like a colonial kind of feel to it, that kind of thing. You heard about that woke critic was actually criticizing James Cameron for allowing white people to play blue aliens. Blue aliens aren't real.
No.
Anybody can play it. Actually, it was a combination of different people. It was Pacific Islanders playing Na'vi, white people, black people. It's ridiculous. But anyway, Avatar 2: The Way of Water has debuted in China. And for the longest time now, Hollywood really has depended on China to save movies. Now, if Avatar didn't have such a gigantic budget, this movie would be wildly successful financially. Now, critically, the fans love it. This thing is sitting like 93, 94% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Mm-hmm.
But the budget, you know what the budget of this movie was?
No.
I believe, I don't remember the exact number off the top of my head, but with the budget and marketing, something like $800 million. That is crazy high. So James Cameron said this movie needs to make like $2 billion just to break even. Not to make a profit, to break even. Now, Avatar 3 has already been shot. He shot them back to back. So I don't know how that actually plays into this. But the box office numbers for the first week underperformed in the U.S. And now we got the China numbers. It way underperformed. I'm really tired of Hollywood really depending on China to save their butts all the time.
Well, the first movie did good in China, right?
It did good everywhere. Actually, the first movie, it didn't do that great the first weekend here. The second weekend, it exploded. It was like an anomaly for movies. It was doing something we had never seen before. Like it almost had no drop off. And it became the highest grossing movie of all time. It made $2.9 billion at the box office. No way in hell this movie's getting close to that. I'm starting to believe that it'll be lucky to even break even.
Well, how come you said the audience score is high?
The audience score is high.
How come the budget is low?
Well, the budget was really high. I believe like...
No, I mean, how come like the performance of the movie is not?
Well,
great?
that was one of the things. That was one of the question marks. It's been 13 years since the first movie. I mean, it's not like, it was a Star Wars movie. It wasn't a franchise or anything like that. Visually, it looked stunning in 2009. I mean, when I saw it in 2009, I was like, man, I don't think I've ever seen a movie look like this before. Now, when I went and saw Way of Water last week, I was like, yeah, it still looks great, but it wasn't really much different than 2009 to me. It wasn't that same experience of going to see the movie. Maybe that could actually play into the reason why not as many people was going to see it. Also, it's a sequel, So, I don't know. But look at this. Right here. Avatar: The Way of Water belly flopped on its opening weekend in China, bringing in $57.1 million, far below the approximately $120 million it was expected to earn. The shortfall has surely come as a disappointment for Disney. I mean, everybody knows James Cameron is involved, but Disney, that's the company. Disney's having a rough year at the box office. The shortfall has surely come as a disappointment for Disney, which is seeking to replicate the success of the first Avatar movie, the highest grossing Hollywood movie in China at the time of its release in 2009. I think this movie should have came out earlier. But James Cameron, he has this reputation of sitting on, but he doesn't do too many sequels. When you look at Terminator came out in 1984.
Mm-hmm.
Terminator 2 came out in the original Terminator came out in 1984. Terminator 2, Judgment Day came out in 1991, 7 years later. He just doesn't do sequels. And it was probably mainly because it's the technology. You remember the liquid metal Terminator in T2?
Yeah.
He actually wanted that in T1, but he couldn't do it because the technology wasn't there. It wasn't until The Abyss in the late 80s where it actually came along and did it. James Cameron doesn't make too many movies overall. And of course, he wasn't going to make a sequel to Titanic. I mean, the ship sank. What other sequel can he really do, you know?
Mm-hmm.
This is concerning right here. When you look at these numbers, 57 million only. And I know that the excuse is going to be the pandemic.
Yeah. Maybe it's because of the pandemic over there, the lockdown.
But the thing is, why did Spider-Man No Way Home make over $2 billion? It came out a year ago. Came out in China too. It hit the $2 billion mark. And to me, this is my personal opinion. The last couple of Spider-Man movies, I didn't even like them. Spider-Man Homecoming, did you see that one? I don't remember if you saw that one or not.
I don't remember.
Homecoming was better. Far From Home was terrible. I didn't like that movie. Now, really, overall, that's really more of a Sony product than a Disney product. But still, that movie hit $2 billion. Now, of course, you know, you had Tobey Maguire coming back also, but he wasn't in any of the marketing, though, but he did come back. I don't know. I don't know if this movie's going to get to $2 billion.
Well, but it says something that China is pushing their own movies.
I mean, but still, even if they're pushing their own movies, when you have a big budget blockbuster like Avatar, now here's the thing, box office receipts. China keeps like 75% of the box office receipts.
Mm-hmm.
And only 25% goes back to the studio. Yeah, so they want to push their own movies. Yeah, I get that. But when you're talking about Avatar did big numbers in China in 2009. You would think you'd be pushing people to go see the sequel. People just wasn't showing up. Now, I know that there was some type of lockdowns, but to me, when I look at what Spider-Man No Way Home did,
mm-hmm.
I don't want to hear the excuse about lockdowns.
In the movie, like, does it have like what's it called, the Na'vi?
Na'vi, yeah.
Do they have like some kind of like new technology? Since like the first one, they have like invader, so
it's pretty much the same story. It's the same bad guys from the first one. They come back again.
So the Na'vi just still have like, they didn't have new technology to fight against the.
They're actually using guns. They're actually using guns in this one. One of the things that and this really isn't a spoiler too much, really. One of the things that I did not like, it wasn't enough of the Na'vi language in it. There were a lot of people speaking English. But the thing is, the difference is the Na'vi aren't really the focus on this one. It's actually this water tribe. I can't remember their names. They're not Na'vi, but they look like Na'vi, except they're lighter blue because they're water creatures. So it's still on the same planet, but it's a different tribe, and that's why they call it the Way of Water.
But do you think like is alien world they should have advanced technology?
Well, they're more primitive than the Earth people, come the sky people as they call them.
Yeah.
Remember, they were using like bow and arrows and stuff like that. They know the terrain. But newsflash, this is probably not a spoiler. The Pandora tribes, they win. Of course they were going to win. I think everybody knew that. But it does set up, sequels. It sets up sequels. But when it comes to China, they just didn't show up for this. And it does address this right here. It says the first Avatar's success in China welted Hollywood's appetite for the Chinese market, leading to a massive industry shift. Hollywood studios started making blockbusters with Chinese audiences and CCP censors in mind, altering plot lines and characters to avoid offending the communist regime. Now, watching this movie, I don't know what China would really actually want to edit out this movie. I didn't see anything that they would find offensive in this.
Do they maybe about culture appropriation according to them?
Well, that was the woke people out there. China doesn't see that stuff. That one woke critic out there doesn't count. I don't see anything in the movie that China would find offensive. The communists would. Maybe they edited a few things, but I'm not really sure. But they're probably right about this because the Chinese censorship probably started like right after Avatar. But now Disney has this appetite really for pushing LGBT propaganda and everything. You don't have any of that in this. There's none of that whatsoever. So it's actually more traditional. It's a man and a woman and their kids, and the man is taking charge of the family. The people over here would be offended by that. I highly doubt that China would be offended by that. You know what? The dependency on China for movies, I do think that's a problem.
It is a problem because, like, when, people watch a movie, it's like, oh, the first thing, like, it's refreshing. When I look at, like, the first Avatar, yeah, it's amazing. But then, like, the second one I haven't seen, but it just kind of like, I don't know if I want to see it. Since like there's so many things going on in the world, it's kind of, plus
the movie's good though. The movie is good.
Yeah, I'm sure it's good. I'm just, maybe some people just want to wait until it comes out on TV or something.
Yeah, streaming.
Like, I want to see it on the streaming instead.
Well, one good thing about that may save Avatar, it is a holiday weekend now. Kids are out of school, so now people will probably go to the movie theater. This second weekend is really going to tell us how this movie is actually going to perform at the box office. It's going to be a telltale sign. Kids out of school for Christmas, and it's a family-friendly movie. It really is. It's very, very family-friendly. So we will have to see. But the box office is not looking good, though. That's a bit of a concern. When James Cameron came out and said it needs to make $2 billion just to break even, I was like, what?
Yeah.
What movie makes $2 billion and can't make a profit?
I hope that, he doesn't rely on China because China is not it's not reliable.
They always rely on China. The thing is, the budget and the marketing was just so high on this movie. I mean, were you looking at like $800 million? That's a bunch of money. But if you look at the movie, and the movie's over 3 hours long. I think it's like 3 hours and 12 minutes. This was going to be one expensive movie to produce. Now, here's something else that the movie has going for it. James Cameron. Mm-hmm. The movies that have made the most money ever, a lot of those are James Cameron movies. Titanic, Avatar.
Yeah,
right
but
up there.
It also depends on, the taste of people seeing the movie.
Yeah.
Like for me,
well, not just taste, but I do believe that this is the most expensive movie ever produced. That's a problem.
Yeah, this movie is more. I mean, Avatar 1 is more about, you get the Native American feel.
You still got that in this one.
And for me, if I choose, to watch Avatar or Indiana Jones, I rather watch Indiana Jones.
The George Lucas Indiana Jones.
Yeah, Last Crusade.
I
there's...
love Last Crusade.
Yeah.
I love Last Crusade. Now, when it comes to that new Indiana Jones movie,
Yeah.
I would much rather watch Avatar. Much rather watch Avatar. Not even close. Based on the things we're hearing about this new Indiana Jones movie, oh no. Avatar all day long. But what do you guys think of this? What do you guys think of Avatar bombing in China? I mean, that's really bad. Really, really bad. It was supposed to do 127 million. It did 57 million. Do you guys think this is going to make a profit? Do you think this movie is going to make a profit?
Maybe it depends.
It's hard. I mean, this weekend is going to be the telltale sign. That's what it's going to take. This weekend is going to tell us a lot about this movie. With that being said, guys, we'll be back on Friday with our last video for Christmas. Until then, be safe.
Goodbye.